there's one word that defines Tamil Nadu politics, it is the Tamil word alumai. Powerful, strong, captivating. And curiously, the state of Tamil Nadu and its politics is obsessed with alphabets. Here's why. There's the ruling party, the AIADMK, All India DRAVIDA MUNNETRA Kazhagam. And then the opposition party, the DMK, DRAVIDA MUNNETRA Kazhagam. And then there are the smaller parties, the AMMK, that's the Amma, MAKKAL, Kazhagam. And then you have the MNM, that's the MAKKAL, MAIAM. It's not just the political parties, but the netas too. The Chief Minister, EPS, Edappadi K Palaniswamy. His deputy is OPS, Ottakarathevar Panneerselvam. But in Tamil Nadu, if there's something or someone that's about personality, party and politics, it's these three letters, MGR, Maruthur Gopalan Ramachandran. An icon, a people's politician, loved and adored by the masses, fondly called Purai Dr. MGR. Let's simply put it, he was the godfather of Tamil Nadu. And this is what Tamil Nadu politics is all about, the larger-than-life politicians. Besides MGR, there were several other netas also who ruled the political spectrum in Tamil Nadu for decades together. There's Jailalita, or as she's popularly and fondly known, Purai Amma. And of course, Kalaignar, Dr. M. Karunanidhi. And the state of Tamil Nadu is now embarking on a new horizon. It, however, will not go beyond the rhetoric of Dr. MGR, Amma and Kalaignar. This year, in 2021, it's not just a state of war for Tamil Nadu, but a war over the patron saints of this ancient land. There are many new players in Tamil Nadu. But before I go any further into what's expected perhaps in the next few months, let's rewind the clock, shall we? Let's go back to 1982. So why 1982? That's the year Jailalita, a breathtakingly beautiful actress, decided to enter politics under the guidance and learned shadow of Dr. MGR. Dr. MGR was the then Chief Minister and he was worshipped. He was like a demigod for the people of Tamil Nadu. And he brought about a new wave of politics, that of a superstar politician. He was powerful, he was enigmatic, and yet he was approachable and kind. And that's why he was called Purai Talevar, meaning revolutionary leader. And following in his footsteps was Jailalita, again a successful actor who, like MGR, wanted to enter politics. And she decided to do it with MGR as her political mentor. If you ever wondered what is the value of 1 rupee, keep this in mind. A woman who went on to become Purai Talevi Amma paid just 1 rupee to enter politics back in 1982. It's not easy for a woman to grow in politics, but Jailalita's rise in the AIADMK was no surprise. She was quick-witted, she knew her politics, and she was very good at warding off criticism.
I must say that I am unable to find words to adequately express my gratitude to the voters of Tamil Nadu. The people have shown in no uncertain terms that they wanted the DMK government to go.
The next landmark date, 24th December 1987, and an MGR was no more. This is a picture that nobody in Tamil Nadu will ever forget. And also keep this in mind, because this image will also provide context to what's happening right now. There by the mortal remains of Dr. MGR, Jayalalitha stood firm. She refused to move. She was shoved, she was humiliated by MGR's family, even by his wife Janaki. She stood stone-faced and refused to move from his side. Many thought that MGR's demise spelled the end of Jayalalitha's career. But against all odds, Jayalalitha stirred a rebellion in the AIADMK and ushered a new chapter in Tamil Nadu politics.
But I felt some injustice was being done, and I felt I had to stand up and fight for what I believed was justice. I never stopped to think whether I am a man or a woman or whether what I am doing is right. I felt I had to do this, I did it, I did whatever I thought was right.
By 1991, Jayalalitha conquered the throne. She became the chief minister for the first time. And then for the next 15 years, she was the indomitable queen. She ruled the AIADMK with an iron fist, going from poster girl Jayalalitha to Puraichi Thalaivi Amma.
We always have to think of the people's aspirations, and अगर हम सच्चाई के साथ काम करें तो हमेशा सफल होंगे.
Jayalalitha's most famous slogan,
மக்களால் நான் மக்களுக்காகவே நான்,
which means I am here because of the people, so I am here to serve the people. It perhaps summed up why the public also was so enamored by her and chose time and again to look past the corruption cases. December 2016, another defining moment in Tamil Nadu politics. Puraichi Thalaivi Amma was no more. There was an outpouring of grief across Tamil Nadu, and the AIADMK, it was a repeat of 1987 for them. Orphaned again, this time by the demise of their beloved Amma, a political merry-go-round kicked off. And here's the image that none of us can ever forget. V.K. Sashikala, closest aide of Jayalalitha, who rose with her, became her confidant and her right hand, stood next to Amma's mortal remains, breaking down as people paid their respects. Powerful pictures that seemed to suggest that Chinnamma was the next head of the AIADMK. What happened next was endless political drama, with Chinnamma Sashikala trying hard to pull the strings.
I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed guests, the Chief Minister O. Panneerselvam. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
First, O. Panneerselvam was made the Chief Minister and then made to quit in 10 months. And what followed was that iconic Dharma Yuddham by OPS at the Marina Beach. Sashikala then chose to put her faith in Edappadi Palaniswamy, and he took charge after falling at her feet, quite literally. What happened next was a storm that Sashikala could not handle. A Supreme Court verdict in the disproportionate assets case meant that Chinnamma was no longer in active politics, at least for the next 4 years. If Sashikala thought that she would get blind loyalty from Palaniswamy, she was 100% wrong. She and her nephew TTV Dinakaran, completely outfoxed by EPS, were ousted from the party. What followed were very interesting developments. Edappadi Palaniswamy and O. Panneerselvam joined hands in August 2017 and came together for a united AIADMK without the Manargudi family. And that's all that you need to know about the AIADMK till now. Over to the AIADMK's arch nemesis, Dravidian counterpart, the DMK, the DRAVIDA MUNNETRA Kazhagam. Since 1969, one man controlled the reins of the DMK, Kalaignar Karunanidhi. He had an intense political rivalry, but a deeply personal relationship with MGR. With Jayalalitha, however, let's just say that there was no love lost, with more than once their rivalry stooping to downright physical assault. With Jayalalitha's demise, it was assumed that Kalaignar would make his move. The shrewd politician that he was, this was exactly the kind of situation that he could easily mold to his and his party's benefit. Unfortunately, however, his health deteriorated, and in 2018, Tamil Nadu and India lost another icon. But while the AIADMK had that big challenge of finding an heir to Jayalalitha, it definitely wasn't the case with the DMK. MK Stalin was clearly Kalaignar's pick. He had groomed his son to take over the mantle of the party. But remember, we had told you about the legacy war over Dr. MGR? Well, Stalin has decided that it's not enough to claim the legacy of Kalaignar. He subtly decided to take claim and stake claim to MGR's legacy.
எம்ஜிஆர் இப்போ கட்சியினுடைய பொருளாளர். உன்னுடைய பணியெல்லாம் ரொம்ப பாராட்டுக்குரியது, மகிழ்ச்சிக்குரியது. உங்கள் அப்பா இதை சொல்ல முடியாட்டினா கூட பெரியப்பாங்கிற ஸ்தானத்துலேருந்து நான் சொல்கிறேன்.
Make no mistake, there's a lot at stake for MK Stalin in this election. It's a fight to keep his political fortunes alive. Losing this kind of an election without someone like Jayalalitha as your competitor, and when you're fighting a divided AIADMK, if he lost this election, it would be a body blow for him.
நீங்கள் முதலமைச்சரானால் நீங்கள் கையெழுத்து போடுற முதல் டாக்குமெண்ட் என்னவாக இருக்கும்? என்ன ஒரு அறிவிப்பாக இருக்கும்?
பொதுமக்கள் எது அதிகமாக விரும்புகிறாங்களோ அதற்காக நிச்சயம் போடுவேன்.
For MK Stalin and all the other players, it's gotten a lot more difficult now because there's one game changer who's returned back to Tamil politics, yes, after 4 years. Very few images really define Tamil Nadu's love for its politicians, like the images of when Dr. MGR or Amma passed away. And now, these images. Absolutely astonishing images as Sashikala's followers, some even from the AIADMK, followed her convoy in a journey from Bengaluru to Chennai. A journey that usually lasts about 5 to 6 hours went on for almost 24 hours because of the massive crowds. And she was quick to set the ball rolling. Ivlo masala poduma? Is this enough masala? Well, in a state like Tamil Nadu, the more the better. A dash of star power was missing, and that's why two superstars decided to storm the political fray of Tamil Nadu. Okay, let's make that one superstar, because after endless hints, Rajini's political blockbuster was a super flop, and that too without even a release. Kamal Haasan, on the other hand, stayed true to his word. He launched his party,
MAKKAL NEEDHI MAIAM.
His ideology was Dravidian, his politics left, and his idol, Dr. MGR. And let me just point out here, that the Ulaganayagan perhaps has the closest political trajectory. So actually staking claim to his legacy, to Purachi Thalaivar's legacy, makes perfect sense, and it is a perfect political strategy.
இல்லை யாரை பற்றி சொல்கிறீங்க? எம்ஜிஆர் அவர்களை பற்றி சொல்கிறீர்களா, என்னை பற்றி சொல்கிறீங்களா? சரி, ஏன்னா ரெண்டும் கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரே இனத்தை சேர்ந்தவர்கள் தான். நாங்கள் நடிகர் இனம் என்று சொன்னீங்கன்னால் அதையும் பார்க்க வருவாங்க, இது அதை தாண்டியும் பார்ப்பார்கள். அப்படி பார்த்ததனால் தான் அவர் புரட்சி தலைவரானார்.
And speaking of Kamal, not Kamal, but the Lotus, what's the BJP up to in Tamil Nadu? Well, they're trying hard to make inroads in a state where they've almost always been duck out. The BJP has essentially become a backstage manager despite all of the big names of the party campaigning in the south. They are in fact orchestrating the moves for the AIADMK, but well under the shadow of the Dravidian party.
मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम चुनाव लड़े और हर राज्य से परिवारवादी पार्टियों को चुनाव में करारी हार सहन करनी पड़ी है। अब तमिलनाडु की बारी है, जब चुनाव होगा तब परिवारवादी शक्तियां समाप्त हो जाएगी और लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियां, डेमोक्रेटिक शक्तियां आगे बढ़ेगी।
There are many strings, there are many puppet masters in Tamil Nadu, and they're all hanging on to power by a very thin thread. One that can be cut off by political force, or that they can be bogged down by simply because of the enormous power and responsibility. This election will seal more than one fate. It will also decide the fate of politics in Tamil Nadu for the next decade or so. Who will be the next Kalaignar of Tamil Nadu? Who will perhaps be the next Purachi Thalaivar? Or wait, Thalaivi of Namma Tamil Nadu?